Hello, everybody. This is D-Boy from the West Coast Uncensored. West Coast Uncensored brings you the best of sports, professional wrestling. We cover the NBA, the NBA, MLB, and of course the National Football League, and also the best professional wrestling, and also website westcoastuncensored.com. How's everybody doing? I've had some changes. That's why you haven't seen me on for about a week. Had some changes. There's some really good changes that will be coming. I had to do some changes here, the house. So I didn't get on. I was supposed to do a revolution, and I didn't do that. And I apologize for those who are listening. I will be more consistent, but I'm trying to get all this stuff together because I do have some changes coming with a bunch of stuff for this YouTube podcast. And all the platforms it's going to. So we do have some outstanding changes adding to for West Coast Uncensored that will help the brand. Is also we're adding vast different businesses. If you want to partner, get on board with us for $10 a month, which if you got a business, that's a write-off. So it's like nothing, but you $10 a month will give to you on my website at westcoastuncensored.com, and you'll advertise your business on my website, and your business will be advertised as a commercial, whatever you want to do. You want to get me a shirt, you want to do something like that, I will put a commercial on for your business. Looking to build fan base, but not only that, collaboration in business. And for those of us who would be willing, with all the division and the moniker and the upheaval and the uprises, man, people got to stick together. Don't let it divide you. But anyways, besides that, we're going to cover a little bit. You can see I had mentioned before that we're in that special season. It's kind of really the season of NFL. We have the combines, NFL free agency, MLB spring training, getting ready officially. I know here, the 26th, opening day here in Los Angeles, and I don't know if there's an opening day scheduled before that. I'll check on that, and but I know that's opening day for here, and then of course on the 18th, on 3/18. In the mad scramble of NFL free agency. So there's just something special about this time of year with free agency. You got MLB, and then you got you coast to the end into that big time April NBA playoffs and going towards crowning an NBA championship. So this is kind of like the end of the season. We're in like 60 plus games to an 80 plus season. So it's about a month to 5 weeks of regular season NBA left. So all these kind of collaborate in this late February to March with MLB, NBA, and of course the NFL, which never quits. So it's kind of what's happened. And so we're going to cover a little NBA action in this weekend. And what we're going to talk about a little bit about with the NBA is this. The Los Angeles Lakers and Mr. LeBron James, as much as he's been in the limelight, 17-year veteran, one of the best players of all time, third on the list for most total points, 3 NBA championships. One thing I have to give him props, he had a great weekend. He went out and did his thing against the number 1 seed in the NBA and the number 1 seed in the East with his best record, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. LeBron went head up with the Giannis, with Antetokounmpo. And LeBron took his game to another level, and this is what this is going to be about. Is just a little bit about that is that he went up against in the Lakers' second half, and this is what they did. It was a halftime game, but the second half, the Lakers dominated. LeBron took it right to him and did his thing, man. I'm gonna have to give props to LeBron for this one thing. We have never seen a guy in his 17th year play at the level that he's playing. Nobody. That's just the fact. Nobody's played at this level in 17th year in the league. Everybody's declined. Kobe started getting injured, blowing out his knees, his legs, his Achilles. Michael's 17th year was just, guys in the 17th year usually shadows of what they used to be. What we're seeing with LeBron this whole year, taking his game up to assist, averaging 10.7 assists, his highest total in his career, taking the Lakers to, given another superstar. They went out and got him a running mate. And I was skeptical at the beginning of the season with LeBron's age and the injury. And usually when you start having injuries in your 16th year, it leads to injuries your 17th year, as we've seen with Kobe and we've seen with Michael, and veterans of any sport. The downside of their declining is already kind of downhill's game. LeBron in 2019, 2020 has been the most amazing athlete in this case, and this part of it is he's not declining, but he's taking his games in many ways, especially with what he's doing and the role he's kind of taken and had to take for a lack of point guard and initiation of the offense. He's had to take that role of being facilitator first. And he's always been a great passer. He's always been that team player and a passer. I've seen it his rookie year that he definitely was a guy that would set up other guys and wasn't all about him. That he was very much like an old school player and some of the greats that were very unselfish, who can dish as well as score. And we've seen that. But this 17th year has been amazing. The Lakers have the best record in the West. LeBron, it's a little argument. Is he the MVP? Quite possibly. It's something to venture off seeing after this weekend. I don't want to make out something too much than it should be. I had to step back after even these last weekend games with even the Clippers and even with the Bucks. Instead of crowning them champs already, because there's a lot to play, but they are in good shape. The amazing thing with LeBron, though, he's taken his game to another level. Nobody at this age, nobody of any sport at this age, usually takes their game to the next level when they're declining, especially in the NBA, especially in circumstances of playing a game physically that's demanding with running and athletic ability. LeBron was just a weekend beast, and the Lakers beat Milwaukee at Los Angeles, and they had lost to him in Milwaukee earlier in the season. The Bucks have all season had the best record. And now I believe there's only 2-game difference, and Antetokounmpo's out with a sprained knee, which he got in the Laker game when Avery Bradley fell. He fell on him and kind of hyperextended his knee. They're reporting it's a sprain, but when I seen it, I said, God, I hope this could really foil their season. Hopefully it is a sprain, but the thing is, they're only a couple games ahead of the Lakers, the Lakers don't lose games that would be justified to lose by good teams, especially going on the road at certain places, playing, and Milwaukee coming in kind of a playoff atmosphere. Some people would look at maybe an NBA Finals atmosphere, but what a job for LeBron's weekend. He mobbed him. He took it to him. He went to the basket and got the best of Antetokounmpo. Big game, big rebounds, big points. I seen him and then they swung it off the next level, was what they did to the Clippers yesterday. The Clippers had won the first 2 matchups, and in this matchup, the game was a 4-point game at halftime, but I really thought the Lakers outplayed in the first quarter. Clippers only got the second, and the Clippers were outplayed the third and fourth. So really, I thought it was a Laker domination, but the game was a Clipper 4-point halftime lead. But this is what I noticed about the Lakers. Close games, trailing, tied, or very close games, they seem to go into that locker room with the veterans, LeBron, but also with that coaching staff that they've assembled. And I thought that coaching staff could be a question mark, because I see assistants that may want to be the head with Vogel. This coaching staff's meshed. I've seen times against Milwaukee and against Clippers that their defensive team defense for 24 seconds is supreme at times. They limit teams. They make teams take bad shots. They make teams force into turnovers, and then they run off those turnovers. LeBron's a great passer downfield. Seeing the open man head up, just a great distributor, and they carry on breaks. They're very good defensive, and like I said, beginning of the year, I thought with the mismatch with the guys they got, I thought this would be a good team, possibly top 4 in the West. But I knew that I thought that it would take time for them to mesh, and then they would have their struggles early, and then if they stayed healthy, they would start getting they'd find their cohesiveness, and they would find their chemistry and get better as we got in this time. They actually got cohesive with the record. Was it 48-13 or 49? That's cohesiveness all season, which surprised me, which made me take notice and which they pretty much led the West from beginning to end now. I don't see them looking back. The only thing that could even prevent this was injury to LeBron and possibly to Anthony Davis. But LeBron dominated the Clippers in the same manner, especially in the second half. He didn't have the point total, but that fourth quarter, um, and then in the third quarter when they really grabbed the momentum, trailing, and going back to this coaching staff, I've noticed in the close games, I'm going to refer back to this coaching staff, them working together, make adjustments, and take over second halves. And if you come over and take the momentum of the third quarter, it's because in close games, or even if the game totally polar opposites first half and you see a polar opposite second half, that's a lot on the coaching staff's adjustments and what they've did and what they've got into the team to adjust to get, whether it's usually offensively, usually led defensively, to do. And that's what I notice consistently. They do this on the road in places that, like I said, you would be justified to lose in Denver. Most teams, it's a hard place to play. It's a hard place to play in Salt Lake City. It's a hard place to play in Portland. They've been able to be even down in the second half or halftime, but it seems like their coaching staff together, that they have accumulated, which Jason Kidd and who else is their third coach? But anyways, they got three guys that have been head coaches. And I thought this could be a problem, that too many cooks in the kitchen. It hasn't. They've been cohesive. This coaching staff has worked well. They are not what I thought the struggles they had, they did not have. I thought they would take them a good at least 30 games to find a cohesiveness with all that, because they got a lot of guys on one-year contract. They gave up a lot to get Anthony Davis. They gave up their future, except Kyle Kuzma, but they gave up the foundation of their future. Ends up being a good trade for them if they're looking for what they're getting now. They're on a championship run. I had to step back because yesterday I was ready to crown them, but I had to really look at the games of Friday and really evaluate them and really get my head on and look at all situations, which you have to. But it is a strong showing on the weekend, taking it to the Clippers and the Bucks, and LeBron's the one who really, to me, took that game. And I'm not going to be denied. And I just have that feeling that's the mindset with everything that's happened and what happened last year, which is something he had not experienced for 8-9 years, sitting out of the playoffs. He never had sat out of the playoffs. I think the Lakers are on a roll. I thought a lot of this bench, I question its meshing with defense and all that. But this team, shooting, this team is a real great defensive team as its foundation. It's not the offense. This team plays excellent team defense and have wings that can guard, and multiple guys can guard multiple positions. And their shooting's been better than I thought it would be. And guys who I didn't think would shoot have shot better. And then adding a big man like Anthony Davis. Like I said, I was ready to crown him after this weekend. Then I had to step back and look at some things with the Bucks and the Clippers and the situation that the Bucks are on. Played the most consistent all year. Just recently lost some game. They lost yesterday in Phoenix, so it's like 2 games. I think it's only a 2-game difference. They have another game coming up, and Antetokounmpo is not going to play again, so they're at a disadvantage. So, the Lakers are knocking on the door for the best record now, which I thought, if you'd asked me this even 2 weeks ago, I thought they would never catch Milwaukee. And now they're really on the door of catching. They're closer to Milwaukee than anybody else is close to them in the West. Or even in the East. This could possibly happen, them catching. And then the Clippers after this game. My concern and what I seen in that Clippers game for the Clippers-Laker rivalry is the Clippers are deep. They have a lot of ball players. They have a lot of length. I see an inconsistency. I don't like their ball movement on offense. I think they play a lot of isolation and a lot of one-on-one. To me, great. That just, your athletic ability will get you points and will keep you in games. But I believe in team flow, team chemistry, and passing the ball, sharing the ball. A good defensive team would way more like to play a team that plays ISO and a team that dribbles. That plays into a good defense, which I think you play into the Laker defense. I think ball movement is definitely something that you have to establish. Quick ball movement and movement by your players, just not standing around a lot. The NBA now is a lot of standing around with a 3-point zone. And then, you have to be able to drive and kick. The Lakers' length is that. That's one thing I seen with the Clippers yesterday. I know that the talk was that they were playing better, and especially last 5-6 games, they had been better. Their defense was better. They were getting better with their continuity, which is lacked all year. I thought it was always a problem. I had my antennas about, even though everybody would say, well, the Clippers' long play isn't to have the best record. The long play is to be ready to go the end of the year with time management, giving guys days off. As you know, Paul George has had injuries, missed a lot, he's been up and down, but recently there was a cohesiveness, but then they stepped in, we're the home team, and the Lakers beat them. Again, Clip show led by 4 at halftime. Vogel, they go in the locker room, Vogel and the coaching staff, along with Jason Kidd and the guy who's the third, because they got the top 3 that have been head coaches, make adjustments, and then they to me, it's a dominant second half. And to me, that's coaching, that's adjustments. And, and having a leader like LeBron is like having a coach on the court. He's definitely going to follow and then lead by example, that if I do it, you must do it. Just a leader. And I just think his mindset after last year, and possibly with the situation that's happened with the death of losing Kobe, is that there's just something happening with them that I could see them winning the title. But I won't give it to them yet because it's early. I had to step back. The Bucks have been good and consistent all year. You're going to have times when you lose games. Losing in LA, winning in Milwaukee is not a surprise. Little one with Giannis's injury, they say it's a sprain. Hopefully that's all it is, because they could fall if it's not. And hopefully that's all it is for their sakes, is a little bit of an injury. So, and nothing major. And so far, saying a sprain, that he'll miss this game, and possibly they're at Boston on Thursday, but it's unknown if he'll play in that game. He misses a few more games and they don't come away with any wins and they start to falter. The Lakers are not losing. The Lakers don't lose games that they win games they're supposed to. And then when you think, well, they can lose that game, it makes sense. They're in Denver, they're in Salt Lake City, they're on the road. They go in there and win. And they win in ways that I'm taking notice that championship seasons, what teams do to win. These kind of things align, and I can see that happening at this point for them now. But I will say, for the Clippers, even though this was really about what the Lakers did, dominant Lakers, they do get a shout out. They beat Milwaukee. Clippers, great weekend, and LeBron took his game to another level and said, "Young fellas, this is what it's about." He did it, and he did Kawhi, and he did Giannis Friday, and then he led his teams to victory because he's not a ball hog. He'll do what he needs to do, but the guy's always been, he likes dishing. He's not a Kobe. He's not a Michael. He is a team player. He's more like a Magic, and actually even more like a Bird in that way. They were dishers. They're great passers for their position, and like the assist and love and took pride in their dishing. What I've seen the Clippers is some of the things, they missed free throws in crucial situations. They missed a lot of free throws, and since they've gotten and made the trade and got Marcus Morris, he's not played well for them. He was actually a detriment yesterday. He was 0 for 9 at one time. He's shot like 10 to 11 times a game since he's joined the Clippers. Those shots could have went to somebody else because he was not making them, and he's only been shooting 37% in the games that he has since joining the Clippers. So I had to step back and say, but I'm going to say this. I know Marcus Morris. He played, he took the more money and bounced to New York. He was at Boston, and he was a mainstay, tough guy, edgy guy, good shooter, good leader. I don't expect that to last. So when I start looking at that, things will end up balancing out, so it's not over. I had to just step back. Sometimes you just evaluate things and you make these claims, but you got to draw back and get all the wealth of information. So the whole season was a dominant weekend for the Lakers. And here's some breaking news I was just seeing. I just had to report is the Los Angeles Clippers have signed Noah the rest of the year. So they added length, height, a veteran. Definitely had injury problems the last few years. Was kind of a guy that was spurted out 5 or 6 years, top defensive guy, defensive player of the year candidate, great rebounder, great passer, but then had injuries and just like fell off the map. Um, does he have anything left in the tank? He could probably help them. He does give them length and size and rebounding, shot blocking ability, and he won't play big minutes, and he's had rest for a while. He hasn't played all season. So could be good. I'm not sure. We will see. I think after yesterday's game, they felt they need a little bit more size, I bet. Because I can see that being a thing, even though they got good length. So they had another guy with length and size. Is a veteran. He is 35 years old. But the Clippers have just signed No Camioa. Yeah. From West Coast Uncensored, it's a basketball report for the weekend games. And you guys have a great weekend. I'll get back to you soon.